ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, where we bring you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan live on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Facebook. I am your host, JP.
Hey, yo.
And alongside me, the 6'10 beast from the southeast, Mr. Country K.
Konnichiwa, my people.
I ain't scared of you,
And well, week 2 NFL season has kind of come and gone. We got a doubleheader for the Monday Night Football currently going on right now. The Bills are beating the absolute shit out of the Tennessee Titans, and the Eagles right now are pretty much running through Minnesota. It's 24-7 right now at the half. Last time I checked, it's 41-7 Bills against the Titans. So far this week, okay, I got to show you something that will probably make you laugh because my dad thought it would be a good idea. So he had gone to the Chicago Bears 49ers game over there in Soldier Field in the monsoon and everything. He was down there in Chicago. The day before that, he had gone to see the Cubs versus the Giants, and then over there at Wrigley Field, and then on Sunday got to see the 49ers and Bears. And right after that ass whooping, he thought it'd be a great idea to bring me a towel. This is from Soldier Field, so it's authentic from Soldier Field, so that's cool. But I thought it was a little fucked up considering how fresh the loss was, and him being a 49ers fan himself, thinking about getting the towel made no sense to me, but hey, he did it. I now have an authentic Chicago Bears towel that I can put somewhere up here, probably out of view, but it is my second team, so I may be putting it in view pretty soon. But for now, let's
that sounds
drink.
First off,
Actually,
sounded crazy.
Strip that of that for right now.
The last part sounded crazy. Now the towel is commemorative because they're closing down Soldier Field, so that's that.
Wow.
And
so then there we go.
Yeah, that's probably what you hang your hat on. Not that last part you said. That last part you said made you sound really crazy.
What? The second team part?
Yeah.
I've always said they were my second team.
And I've always told you sounded crazy.
Well, I mean, whether I'm crazy, insane, or perfectly normal, that's the second team that I'm going with.
See, the latter is not the exit strategy for you, though. Like, it's more like the frontal.
Speaking of frontal, I know that sounds like an interesting segue. But hey, one of the more impressive teams that are in the NFL right now, or at least one of the teams that are surprising the shit out of everybody right now, are the Miami Dolphins. Tua went and almost threw for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns yesterday. And like I said about frontal, this is what Tyreek Hill had to say about his quarterback and his coach, Mike McDaniels.
No question on that. For all the haters out there, man, who saying Tua can't do this, can't be that, I really hope you soon jump on this bandwagon, man, because not only is Coach McDaniels gonna need a wheelbarrow, he also gonna need Tua gonna need a wheelbarrow after the season to tote his money, his boatload of money, and also his cojones.
His cojones, he said. He's gonna have to like Stan here's father in South Park walking around with his nutsack and a wheelbarrow.
No,
That's essentially.
I definitely caught the reference. Great reference. Now, and none part of my criticism of goddamn, I got Ty Tone badly right there. None of my criticism of Tyreek Hill. I keep calling him Evans. I wonder what he's doing. But anyway,
we'll get to Evans in a second.
But yeah, none of my criticism of Tyreek Hill. There you go. Goddamn, has anything to do with his personality, right? Like I always thought he was like a fucking very charismatic. God damn, there it is. Charismatic motherfucking person, like athlete. Like his personality is like amazing. You know what I'm saying? I personally feel like he doesn't have any many routes. But he's right. He's right about Tua. I kind of knew this was going to happen. I knew that the Dolphins, as soon as Tyreek Hill went to the Dolphins, I'm like, fuck. I think I said it on the show. I'm like, fuck, they're going to be good and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of hate having to be like, go Dolphins or go Jaguars, but when they're good, I like, hey, shouts to Florida, you know, I cheer them on, do it for the state. But I knew they were gonna be good though. Getting a deep ball threat like Tyreek with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah,
You can run the entire route tree at a high speed level. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's Waddle. I think in fantasy had like 30-something points today, if I wasn't mistaken.
Well, in your league, and I was in another league. Him and Tyreek both had almost 50.
So if nobody in your fantasy league has picked up Tua Tagovailoa after 2 weeks of kind of proving it, he might be a legitimate option to have a quarterback.
First off, if he wasn't drafted in your doggone fantasy, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Like your whole league is stupid because it's like,
why you say it like
come on, bro, like
you're stupid.
Because it's like you kind of gotta put a little belittle on it because it's like how can you look at that roster and like Tua ain't gonna get off, bro? Like at the very least, he can throw a doggone a quick slant to Tyreek and he can still eat up for 50 yards for that shit. Same thing with Waddle. You know what I'm saying? At the very least, if you he can't throw deep ball, all right, cool. He gonna be Big Ben. And he only can throw 15 or under, or like, you know, players I can list off of a lot, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's like if you're only gonna throw under 15 yards, you can still throw a good amount of routes. And with a player with the speed of Tyreek, and most of his routes is only short yard routes, and he's just fast as shit, so they can just stretch out the long routes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's easy. You know what I mean? Like, that's super easy. That's super easy. So if no one in your league drafted Tua, and the whole league is dumb.
I mean, could you possibly think that it might have been actually good PR for the Miami team? Because look, all offseason throughout OTAs and everything else like that, we were seeing those duck balls, the ones that were underthrown, the preseason game, same thing, underthrown balls, everything else like that.
Right.
And then come season, it's not at all like that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they disguised it so well to make the whole league think Tua wasn't shit. And now come season time, all right, let's really reveal what we have here.
No, I mean, if you look at Tua's whole football career from what we've seen, right? So from Alabama to now, Tua went to a run-heavy school, right? They threw the ball, but because they have receivers, but they're a run-heavy school. Alabama's a run-heavy school. Everybody know that, right? So you go to that kind of school and you have a small amount of opportunities to throw the ball, but when you do, it comes out to be amazing product. And then when you get to the league, as soon as you get to the league, or even before you even get there, motherfuckers are saying you can't throw, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's like, if that's the narrative for this, man, everybody gonna believe that shit, especially if they just going off of what they're hearing. So if that's the narrative they painted for this man, and then you see in this, it's like, oh, it's some miraculous change. It's like, fuck no. Just give him a bunch of 5-star receivers and he go do the exact fucking same thing he did at Alabama. Like, stop acting like players don't have those tools, and then you remove him from those tools and you give him like C grade, D grade players, like they supposed to just make these players better, all like, and they're a rookie themselves. That's asking a lot of a rookie and young players. That's asking a lot. You want to be the franchise, all this shit. You're throwing a lot of them at once, and no one's there to teach them how to go through it. And now these older players nowadays are just like kind of frowning at these players. Like, you don't hear many stories of motherfuckers mentoring players. It's like the Brett Favre fucking goddamn Aaron Rodgers era. Since then, it's like, it's damn near like all the quarterbacks been doing that. I don't think Joe Flacco gave Lamar much motherfucking goddamn tutelage. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lamar,
I don't think there was any. I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's anything that Joe Flacco could have taught Lamar that he definitely could have already know.
See, the thing is, you don't understand, like, understand how to manage a game. At the very least, Joe Flacco can do that at a very high level. He can manage a game for sure. So he could teach Lamar how to do that. When your athleticism starts slowing down, you need to understand how to manage a game. If you learn that early, then it's going to be second nature to you when you get older. You know what I'm saying? So he could teach him certain shit. Like Joe Flacco, yeah, their abilities is nowhere even close to the same, but he could teach him certain shit that Lamar can't do. And right now, because he's leaning more towards athleticism.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's certain things you can really like pick up, but if you get players that get thrown in situations like don't have none, like prime example, which I hate it because they the Browns, but like Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel had nobody up there to really like got him on some real shit. Johnny Manziel did a bunch of dickheadish shit, but at the same time, who was up there to really guide that man when he first got into the league? No, seriously. Like, who was really up there to really got him? Joshua Cribbs? Like, come on, bro. Joshua Cribbs was doing his own thing. He was smoking his shit. Like, you got Joshua Cribbs, Josh Gordon. Like, he had a whole bunch of fucking stoners up there. He moved up there to motherfucking Taylor gang. What are you talking about? Johnny Manziel got drafted to Taylor gang. Like, come on, man. What you want that man to expect? He walked in this motherfucker, Ty Dolla $ign and goddamn Wiz Khalifa in that motherfucker, playing football, doing kickoff returns and fucking go routes. Like, what do you want him to do? What do you want that man to do? He got drafted to that, and he like, oh, this the norm? All right, shit, this is better than A&M. Fuck it. We out here. I'm getting paid. And
cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like. It was no guidance up there. No disrespect to Josh Gordon, you know what I'm saying, Joshua Cribbs, but y'all boys was up there smoking, nigga. That's just what it was. Y'all was up there smoking. I smoke weed now, so. But at the same time, shit, like Stephen A. said the best shit. Just blunt, motherfucking millions of dollars, shit. Kiss this motherfucking. You know what I'm saying? You keep this weed. I'm be honest. I'll be the heaviest drunk motherfucker at the goddamn league, but you can keep this weed.
How mad do you think Ricky Williams, Josh Gordon, and all them are now that the rules that they're not going to test for weed anymore in the NFL?
Oh, bro, Percy Harvin. Harvin. Think about his
career. To get away with that shit, apparently.
I got that, but at the same time, look at the shit he went through in the process of that. Like, Percy Harvin really he gave us notice to the Vikings a few times. Seattle, he was the finishing capsule to that doggone Super Bowl team. People don't really give him that credit, but he was out there killing on the special teams for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like you got a lot of players that had to go through that. That was a good doggone point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just, hey, I mean, at least now no players are going to have to go through that, you know, at least for the foreseeable future. So, you know,
yeah,
that's at least good news. I mean, yeah, obviously players had to go through it in order for changes to be made, but
well, no, I feel like it's because Roger, heavy judicial guy, and the fact that it was become federally decriminalized. That's probably what made Roger be like, all right, we're going, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
That's my theory.
I mean, it's very, very well may be true. I mean, because I tell you, because we've heard, I mean, at least I've heard stories of the tour it all stories and all the all that type of shit that players used to use and stuff like that to get rid of pain and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's good. At least it's good to know now that weed is essentially legal for players to use in the NFL, because that's such an improvement to essentially the opioids and everything else like that these players would be getting hooked on, because that's exactly what was going on.
Right.
During the tour it all days and everything else like that, even for the most minor shit, you got people taking morphine and all that kind of shit. So you got all these players that are, you had a lot of them, even great ones, having drug problems and everything else like that. It's because all these pain meds and stuff like that they were all hooked on during their time in the NFL. It's kind of like, man, that's why a lot of these players, Jim McMahon being one of them, he was the quarterback for the '85 Bears. Ricky Williams also being another one. There's a lot of these players, former and some current, that have always been advocating that making marijuana okay for players to be able to use is AB might be doing a little bit more.
I ain't gonna say that, but I'll say I don't know what to see what you was gonna say, to be honest.
But I mean, just saying, like, if players would have had that option, how many less players would be addicted to all that crap? You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I mean, again, I'm glad that it's all good and everything now, and I'm glad that they've gotten all that shit fixed and situated. Because again, this is an alternative for player health that's much more beneficial, especially in the long term. No long-term side effects and everything else like that with the marijuana compared to the opioids. So, I mean, yeah, the players before, once again, they suffered through it, but it is what it is, and it's better now. So that's all we can really be happy about, especially California now signing into law, 7th state in the country to make it okay for employees to be able to smoke off the clock, and no employer can hold it against them for doing so. So it's a good day here in California. But speaking of California and teams that were from here, but it still always be the motherfucking same. The Las Vegas Raiders.
They are who we thought they were.
Absolutely. I'm gonna do it one more time.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah. Is it replaying? Is it on loop right now? No. I want to put it on loop. I want to say it one more time. Hold on. Let's get this computer doing what it should be doing. All right.
They are who we thought they were.
Y'all beat the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm not happy about it because we'll get to that. But the Las Vegas Raiders were beating the Arizona Cardinals 20-0 by halftime, and then Arizona came roaring back to end up beating the Las Vegas Raiders in overtime in Las Vegas. But now there's a police investigation over a Las Vegas fan who allegedly smacked Kyler Murray in the face when Kyler Murray was celebrating on the sideline there. Actually, I have the video right here. I'll be able to show you.
That was a Raider fan, too.
So
I was joking. That was an accident. That was a clear accident.
That's exactly what I said. When I first saw the video, I was like, the guy that he was yelling at was actually looking like, yeah, like celebrating with him. Yeah. I think that guy was coming over trying to hit his padding to celebrate with him and just accidentally hit him in the face.
Yeah, because he didn't know Kyler was turning. I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Missed time. Kyler was turning it at a different time, and it was a complete accident. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody's going to get charged. I don't think anybody's
No.
going to, I mean,
No.
maybe Kyler having his back turned, him not knowing, that could be one that might have been the reason why he was, somebody,
No,
that guy hit
honestly,
me in the face, or
I think when the guy was like, he probably said my bad because right after you celebrating with his teammates, you know what I mean? So the
yeah,
guy probably was saying like my bad, until Kyler actually recognized what he was saying. You know what I mean? Because sometimes in the heat of moment, it doesn't compute.
no, so it doesn't at times, and then again, when I saw it, at first I was like, okay, when you look at it quickly, it could look like so. See now, if that hand would have came down like this
Yeah.
with a closed fist, something different. But since it came down like this, and not even like as if it was going to be a slap or anything, it was coming down like that, and then you kind of saw who it was connected to, and the whole video from when Kyler comes down
Yeah.
to the end zone side in the first place.
Mhm.
To that point, absolutely 100%, that was an accident. I'm sure that fan didn't mean to hit Kyler Murray in the face.
Yeah.
And whatever police investigation comes from this, again, I doubt it. And I'm sure Kyler, after seeing it over again and stuff, he'd probably say the same thing. Oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Now, if the fan does get charged, Kyler Murray's bitch made. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on.
Soft skin ass shit.
Hold on. If it's Kyler pressing charges, then I agree. If it's the Arizona Cardinals pressing charges, then Kyler has no control on that, bro.
Yeah.
He can say as much as he wants, but if they want to protect their franchise quarterback and they do that, then you know what I mean? You can't press Kyler for that, bro.
Yeah. No, that's exactly true. You can't, again, if it's not Kyler, then you get on the team. If it is Kyler, then you get on Kyler.
Exactly.
But I mean, the whole police investigation, I think that's a little excessive. To be honest with you.
Right.
But again, with that film there, it's one of those situations where it's just kind of like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal. It's really not anything anybody should really be worried about. Or I don't even think the fan, to be completely honest with you, should be at all worried about anything happening. Just be like, hey, I was trying to celebrate with him. My bad, I didn't mean to hit him like that. That's where he can kind of go from there. But again, until then, it's not really that big of a deal for anybody to really be worried about it. Hold on, all this shit is still. Once again, now
Holy fish sticks.
What happened? Did something happen on your end?
No, I'm just looking at the score.
Oh, for which
game.
game? For the Vikings Eagles, or for the?
They're both one-sided.
Well, that's also true. I'm not really keen on the. Oh wow, Kirk Cousins, Jesus Christ!
Oh wow, Darius Slay a dog for that. That man got a pick on the doggone 2. He got tackled on 19, but then gave the ball to James Harden.
James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden was sitting like at a lower level.
Oh, okay. Wow, Kirk Cousins just another.
Giving it up.
He's threw another one right now to 2-9.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's the man is living his best Ja Rule song in the world.
I mean, whoever picked
he's living it up
the Philadelphia defense starting right now. Jesus Christ. Whoever has Kirk Cousins starting might be hating their life right now.
I got Philadelphia defense starting in our league, actually.
And I have Kirk Cousins starting in our league. So
hey, congratulations. You got maxed out. I'm getting whooped though. So
I still won. I
Oh no,
I
I
didn't
had
even
Tampa
need
defense.
AJ Brown and Kirk Cousins to play
Oh no,
today
no.
for it to really work or matter.
Yeah, I'm getting maxed out, but I got Philly defense. They only got me 9 points. I'm getting maxed out though. Yeah, it's ugly.
But let's see. Right now it is the Buffalo Bills 41, Titans 7, Eagles 24-7 in the third quarter. But for now, let's take a little bit of a detour. A little bit of a detour into college football, where a lot has happened in the last week or so. Some big things have been going down, and we have the best person to be able to come and talk about it. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Drop Line, let us welcome in once again the A7 NFL quarterback of the Schnoo Tribe, you already show, and A7 NFL announcer, Jaffo college football correspondent, ladies and gentlemen, Corey Hammond. What's up, Corey?
What's going on, guys? How you guys
Sup,
been?
sup?
Oh man, just trying to get through fucking life, and now that we're here, I'm just glad we could be talking about sports.
I'm lovely.
I know behind that Cam Newton face, you're doing pretty good over there.
Nope,
Now
James
going
Spencer.
back into college football mode, so maybe unfortunately I might have to change your mood just a tiny bit. But I think we'll get into that, Jay, right?
Yeah, let's get to it. Can you do me first though?
Just so we could get this over.
Not the a thing that I hear a lot anymore that I've been married.
Phrasing was crazy.
But sure, okay. So let's introduce ourselves to the idea of the college football season in its early stages is living up to every expectation we always have for it. The fact that we attach so many finite or intangible expectations on 18 to 22-year-old kids, and a lot of times, shekels, we'll say, are placed on these things, is always adds to this the extreme amount of fun that is college football. But Country K, you said you first, so I thought that since both of your guys' teams were front and center at the top of the college football universe, maybe it would be the best to just kind of truncate the whole me talking for 40 minutes about random things, and we can kind of address the elephants or whatever an Aggie is in the room. So, first 2 weeks of the season, I was actually watching Miami with, relatively high expectations. I think just like anybody. I lost the guys, but I think they just put me on the big screen.
Yeah.
All right, good. I was like, am I just going to be talking to myself? My wife is already having some crazy.
No, I just had you
listening to myself after I talk. Yeah. So for the first 2 weeks, everything went according to plan. I think last week we saw against Texas A&M, a team that a lot of people were, going to be, really down on in week 3 after their loss to Appalachian State, which I'll get to in a second when we kind of wrap things up with the U. But, I was even watching on Twitter the Dan Le Batard show going in on those, those roasters for Texas A&M, which as an unprofessional roaster myself, I feel, embarrassed that that level exists, and it's that much lower than my mediocre level. Guys, you got to do a little bit better, or at least make sure that you do the Derek Jeter and have phones collected so there's no evidence of your terrible jokes, because nothing gets more viral than a yawner before you lose to a team that I think is in the Sun Belt, but they might be in Conference USA next year, and who knows. But back to the U, 17-9 against Texas A&M team, an SEC team, and if you watch the game, it felt like Miami could move the ball in between the 20s when they wanted to. It's just when they got down to
fucking red zone.
the man on man, shortening the field, everything's tighter, everything's quicker, and you said do you first. Everything's tighter, everything's quicker down in the red zone. Sorry, that one was just lying there. I had to.
You had to. It's all good.
I had to let that one rip. But it felt like in
shit.
between the 20s, Miami was maybe even better than Texas A&M. Once it got down to the red zone, though, all those things that Mario Cristobal and his team were trying to do, it didn't stand up to what seemed to be maybe a better on paper recruited team. Miami might have something to say in the ACC moving forward, but unfortunately, when they they go up against their first tough opponent of the season, they let my guy Country K down. And if Samuel L has to stare at me motherfuckerly today, I totally understand. I was, for one, have always rooted for the U, except for when they played Ohio State and Shekels were involved. I made out with those non-calls at the end, or bad calls, or whatever you want to call them. But for the resurgence, I think just hold your horses on the panic button, because to me, that Appalachian State loss for Texas A&M might not end up being as bad. Now, I don't think Appalachian State is going to win the national championship or anything. But when they played North Carolina, another really tough team, that might end up being relatively good, towards the end of the year, it was 63-61. So Appalachian State isn't a 1AA team beating Michigan anymore. They're a legit, out of Power 5, threat. And when they beat Texas A&M, it was an embarrassment because of what those idiots said, more than the disparity of the talent on the field. Because Appalachian State, they can ball. And, for the U moving forward, you look at it as an out-of-conference SEC road game, right? It's a loss. And, I don't think anybody had the wrong idea that Miami was going to go undefeated. You want to come away with a better output from your offense and your quarterback that people have high expectations for than 9 points. But I think what you can see is, especially with a first-year head coach, I think what you can see is that at least between the 20s, when the scheme, and the open concept of their offense allowed guys space and first downs and able to, kind of put up stats in those segments of the game, moving the ball, the recruiting, I think, especially for a team like Miami, might be able to get there if they just don't press the panic button. And in 2 years, now it's going to be Urban Meyer again, on life support. So
Nebraska was calling for that, by the way, that they want Urban Meyer as their coach.
See, but that honestly, for me, what Urban Meyer would never take the position at Nebraska, because Urban Meyer has always proven since his days at Utah that he's going to recruit the best players, and he's going to win in, January, at a table as much as he's going to win in January, in a bowl game. So going to Nebraska, that sounds like a place where you can win, but if they're firing a legend that played there at the quarterback position, that's who's going to Nebraska. Like, forget that kids don't even know what college football game day is, and that Lee Corso is still trotting out there because they want to keep connecting to the only fans that still watch that show, which is guys our age. And when the co-eds at the college find out that something's happening, and they're like, "Oh, it's the thing with the signs." Oh, and then they just get drunk, and then they just make it look, you know what I mean? Like 18-year-old kids barely know what college game day is anymore. My son would my 13-year-old son, who's about to be a freshman in high school next year. Hopefully that ends up in a recruiting thing, but we'll talk in a couple of years. But the point is that he barely knows who Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, and what college game day is. There's no way if you go to an 18-year-old in Florida who's the #1 defensive end in the country, that he's going to choose to go to Nebraska for anything. Unless he's like on some weird belly movie tour and he's like following the route that they took when they, with the guy with the weird glasses up there. Nebraska is the last place I feel like, and I don't want to get off topic. Nebraska is the last place anyone's going. So Urban Meyer, to finish the point, Urban Meyer is just allowing his name to be put out there so that when the big school is available, the fans of that big school cry for him, because that's the only way he'll get a job. And then out of pressure from, the people that, the boosters that pay for, the season tickets for thousands of people that just show up to get drunk. Urban Meyer is going to be angling himself for a job that's going to be a little bit higher prestige than Nebraska. And unfortunately, guys, the three of us are going to have to throw up in a toilet as soon as we get the news that he does get another coaching job and that we do have to suffer more of him. But at least he won't be on Fox calling games.
Oh, God. I mean, on Fox, whether he's on the sideline, whether he's really doing anything, I've kind of had enough of Urban Meyer just ride off into the drunken sunset like he probably should.
I think we all had enough when he thought that, as the utilitarian college coach that he seemed to be, getting caught with the chick, bro, that was it for me. It's like the pro guys in that locker room were not going to respect you anyway unless you brought some kind of scheme, and then you're out there being a clown. Like, yeah, cool. Next,
wasn't gonna really
Jay. Now I was actually scared that you were purposely dipping me to avoid having to talk about your situation in college football. And again, I can't do this on camera. Hold on. I don't want to. You saw I did that, but I'm holding the phone with one hand, so I need that. Babe, can that be enfuegoed? You guys don't know Spanish, right?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
You guys are in California. Of course, you know more Spanish than I do. I barely know fuego. I probably said it wrong. Texas, man. Now, Jay, let me first apologize because I only texted you because I wanted to make you aware that I was doing my job for the JAFFO Army. And I wanted to be just, you know how the Twitter thing goes, right? And I don't know if you've heard my podcast, A7FL 3-on-1 podcast with my guy, Matt Ryan, a legend, and rising, Rob Fabian, who's way funnier than me. And then you have to bear myself. But I'm like the guy that just carries the air so that there's just those guys can go on mute and, take care of more important business than me. Anyway, back to you guys in the JAFFO Army. I tweeted because I, as a Twitter bot, wanted to become more of an actual human being. Hold up. So
there we go. That's what we need.
Babe, don't. No, my wife smokes cigarettes, so she's constantly blowing this shit in my face. It's actually
so dumb.
So Texas was doing their thing, and in those types of games where you catch a team like Alabama, who is they're going to end up being another dominant type team. And I'll get to why in a second. But when you catch a team like that early in the season and you get them vulnerable and they're on the ropes, a lot of times a team like Alabama and Georgia this year, and, when USC is playing some of the Pac-12 competition, and, when a team like, for instance, maybe in Oklahoma or might end up being Texas, or one of the Big 12 teams is getting into conference play, or if Cincinnati gets on a roll, when you show up to the stadium and you already win because the other team is intimidated or out of their own heads, or gonna go or gonna play out of themselves, trying to raise their level, or all those intangible things we were talking about, 18 to 22-year-olds. When you're Alabama and you are on the ropes, all that momentum, all of the, equalizers are gone. All of those intangibles that made Texas, probably a walkover game, if the right things happen in the first and second quarter, all of those are gone by the third and fourth quarter. And unfortunately, what it looked like, and Jay, I know as a Texas fan, you felt it. When you got a backup quarterback in, offensive coordinators have two choices. They can let their guy go free, or they can hold on for dear life. And it felt like what Texas did was they felt the pressure of the moment, and they were holding on for dear life. But credit that kid, because he's completing passes downfield. The scheme on the third and long that they completed, where it was a seam in, and they flooded that middle zone, and the kid just throws a 30-yard seed right to the receiver's hands, and they get the completion. That's textbook football. The problem is that when you go for the field goal in that situation and you're not actually trying to score, you've almost already lost the game against a Heisman Trophy quarterback like Bryce Young. Because credit the Texas defense for doing everything right but one thing. And I know, Jay, you know the moment. When you send a nickel blitz and that hits in a fourth quarter drive, because a lot of times you're in hurry-up mode. A quarterback has to set protection, and a quarterback is very rarely going to set protection on those nickel blitzes, especially if it's disguised like Texas did on that play. When the free rusher comes, if you don't have a hot read and you throw it quickly enough, or the wide receiver doesn't move to the hot route, the designed route on those nickel blitzes, you're in trouble as a quarterback. And guys, as A7FL fans, what kind of quarterback I am. I'm sacked and dead on that play. Now, I might have, to be fair to my career, in those moments, I just hold on and try to throw the ball away or get the ball out so that the clock stops. But I'm not escaping like Bryce Young did. And what Nick Saban said at the end of that game is that Bryce Young, came into Alabama as a 5-star recruit because he has all the tangible skills and measurables that we talk about with Trey Lance, right? Or we talk about with, enter athletic quarterback here. The reason we talked earlier in an earlier show about Mac Jones and Trey Lance, and, is because some of those tangible things don't matter as much. But Bryce Young is the kind of kid that, and Nick Saban was saying, and I'm paraphrasing by expounding on the point longer, which is a rare thing. Normally when you paraphrase it's shorter. But he said that Bryce Young came in with all the tangibles, but what he does is he wins with his head. He wins with his mind. He's winning with the decisions that he's making. And when he's already winning with making the right decisions, when he can also do that athletic escape with the strength and balance that it takes, and also the speed to get the 22 yards. That's why Texas fans went from within an instant, oh my God, we just won the game, to, oh my God, we just lost.
Can we agree though that there were a few penalties that were not called,
absolutely,
or penalties that were called that absolutely fucked us? But especially that nickel blitz, that holding on the right tackle.
Get those penalties, and absolutely those penalties should have been called. But you guys have played football before. If the ref is against you, then he's just the 12th player, and you can't do anything about that. So Texas got shafted. Yes, but they still had a chance to win. If they make that play at the end, they win the game. If one guy makes a rapid tackle on a quarterback on that blitz, he's a really good quarterback. Maybe he gets a chance. But the difference between this year's Alabama team and last year's team and the years before that is the wide receivers, and they may yet emerge. And sometimes it takes time and it takes some reps. When a team is an elite offense and they score, 45, 50 points, it's not just because they have a good quarterback. It's because they have the speed at wide receiver to take those timing routes that should just be 10 or 12 or 15 yards, and they become touchdowns because, as you saw in the Dolphins game, Tyreek Hills and Waddles, when they get open space, are different. And Alabama's had those guys for years. Now, I think they probably have them on the roster, but I don't know if those guys are ready to perform at that level yet. So what Bryce Young did against Texas is he showed that even with inexperienced guys at the skill positions that aren't going to bail him out of a drive, and a 12-yard completion comes a 73-yard drive because one guy did all the work.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young went up and faced a very good, competitive, hopefully not too full of themselves moving forward Texas team, and got a much deserved road win out of conference. And sometimes in the early part of the season, you just have to look at these things that way, guys. So for both of your teams, the rankings are what they are. The narratives for the individual weeks are what they are. But at the end of the day, when the season's over, all they are out of conference losses to SEC teams. And to be fair to the entire country, that's a common theme. That's a very common theme.
I remember when we talked about it, even I was thinking we're going to get blown the fuck out. Like that 20 points was looking very realistic. That whole thing, I was just looking at it going, man, we're still really young. We're still trying to get to the bearings of what this team is actually going to be and what it's going to look like from here on forward. And to do what they did, regardless of all the things that should have been done, regardless of the game itself, to lose by 1 point to Alabama without your starting quarterback, with him getting knocked out in the first quarter, it shows a lot of. To me, I was like, "Hey, I'll fucking take it." We almost had him. We were this close to getting them, but at least now we know, hey, even without our starting quarterback, we still may have a chance against the tough teams. And going forward, because we're going to be in the SEC either next year or the year after that, it's saying, okay, now we're going to be able to compete with these guys when we get to that next level. So it's promising, it's good, and this week they played a UTSA team that, obviously it's a game that they should have won, and they did, 41-20. Bijan Robinson, I think he's one of the best, if not the best, running back in the entire country right now.
Nick Saban had high praise for that guy, and he showed it.
Yeah, I really do like him.
To further your point on what we were saying before the game, and I literally said this. I said if Texas had a performance similar to the way Notre Dame was against Ohio State in week 1, where they weren't better, but they looked competitive at times, Texas lived up to that and more, because we thought that it was much more likely that Texas was going to get routed than what happened. And what happened is that it seemed like everything was against Texas at every moment, and they had a chance to win the game. And as long as those kids continue to work, and as long as Steve Sarkisian, and I'm sorry to go this route, guys, but as long as Steve Sarkisian sticks to the water, that's key, I think. I think that Texas, there's really no reason why Texas shouldn't be good. I think the problem with Texas, in my opinion, is the same problem with the University of Miami at times, and with.
You can do it on camera.
I don't do anything on. I'm not doing anything, actually. And by the way, I represent the A7FL. And when you get a chance, check out our 3-on-1 podcast with my friend Matt Ryan, who is also another highly elevated sports fan, and my guy Big Rob Fabian, who is highly elevated, but that's just because he's a large human. I'm surprised I haven't seen Samuel L., but
no, we had a pretty strong victory on Sunday.
He's talking about the Bucs, so he's a little bit happier than he was before.
Well, how about my guy Mike Evans? Because I saw a video of Mike Evans, and then I saw a video of what happened after that video of Mike Evans when he was talking to a ref. Did you guys see this one?
Yes.
He's like, "What am I supposed to do? It's Tom Brady." I mean,
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
I mean, it's.
exactly.
It is
I
what it
feel that.
is.
I mean, look, listen. There, it should have been an offensive lineman, but I mean,
Then they're not faster than Mike
Usually
Evans, though.
is.
I'll tell you what. I play in the A7FL, and I talk a lot of trash. I don't ever write checks that I don't have to cash myself. I write a lot of checks too.
Oh, I've heard.
My wrist, let's say, gets tired at times from writing the checks. But unfortunately, I also cash those checks as a pocket quarterback that is stationary, and people know where to find me, let's say. So to recap, similar storyline in essence for both of you guys, if you really break it down. And I think when it all is said and done, as long as both of your guys' teams, and I think they might be able to, with new coaching staffs, it's always tough to know how the kids are going to respond to the after loss, garbage. You guys know as adults now, it's like, imagine a grown man yelling at you after you trying to do something and failing, and then he's going to like show you video it over and over again and be like, come on, man. Like, I obviously know that I screwed up. You know what I mean? Like, you can lose kids like that. But as long as that doesn't happen, I think Texas and Miami might bounce back from these losses with some optimism in the next few weeks.
Things are looking pretty good. I'm happy where the team's at so far. Yeah, so that could always go downhill in the middle of the season like it has the last few years, with this team.
Well, just don't bail on Texas fully if this year they lose 3 total games. I mean, that's progress. And that's
no. That's what I'm saying. As long as it's all competitive, as long as everything is like we're not getting blown out in these losses, then I'll still remain okay. But it's just just kind of growing up as a Texas fan, you have that expectation, and when the expectations are not being met, it's a little frustrating.
Well, as a Texas fan at this point, you should have the expectation that if Texas plays Alabama, that the starting quarterback is going to get injured to his shoulder in the first quarter.
Yep.
I mean,
it's happened twice in a row now, so we might as well just start our backup.
If I'm Coop Manning, before Arch finally signs to Texas, I'm saying, no, we are not playing Alabama because in the first quarter, my son will be injuring his shoulder, and it's just a proven fact at this point. It's happened multiple times. It's not a coincidence. It's fact.
At this point, it's a tradition. Corey, we've got your game of the week this week, and it was a surprising one for me, but let everybody know what the Corey Hammond college football game of the week is going to be.
So I'm really interested to know who these two teams are. Now, after we talked about Utah, Florida week 1, and I didn't end up calling that Florida was going to win, but I did tell everybody that was going to be the game to watch, and it ended up being the game to watch. I feel like Utah might be able to bounce back in the coming weeks. They might not. But Florida seemed to burst out on the scene. Now, the dumbest thing, to be clear, guys, the dumbest thing that I had seen on the internet in probably, 15 minutes, because let's just be honest, there's so many dumb things on the internet, but it was a really dumb thing that I saw on the internet was that the quarterback from Florida, Richardson, was already being placed in pro jerseys next year, one of which was the Giants, because he made that one play in which he rolled out of a tackle by jumping and spinning, as if that's the translatable skill that you're looking for a professional pocket winning franchise quarterback. Not that the kid Richardson is not going to evolve, but he's a sophomore, and he made one highlight play. People, stop drafting highlights, draft careers and franchise quarterbacks not guys that wear bras and look good at North Dakota State for approximately 3 games against mid-level competition at best. So
life comes at you fast.
Yeah, man. I could go on and on about that topic in general, but back to the game. Now, Florida had their opportunity against Kentucky to supplant themselves where I said they might end up being after a big win, close to the top 10. And the quarterback from Kentucky is the real deal. And Florida, I think they were reading their press clippings. I think that they weren't ready for a rivalry game. I think they're a young group of kids. I think that they still have a lot to learn. And the SEC is no joke. And when you play Kentucky, you might think if you're a kid, that's Kentucky. Well, Kentucky is still an SEC team, and they look to be one of the contenders in the SEC moving forward with a quarterback that might end up being the actual guy wearing the NFL jerseys at the end of the day. But then you look at Tennessee, and I think everybody always is just waiting for Tennessee to just not be real, right? This has happened a couple years in a row. Tennessee starts off pretty good. It even happened when Butch Davis was there. It seemed like things were going well, and when it mattered against the SEC, it just fell apart. So this is a must-win for both of these teams if they're going to be taken seriously this year. Because if Florida does not win, then they were the team that beat Utah, and Utah win in week 1 when they're 7 preseason. In week 12 might not look that great. And you might be looking at Florida as a team that in week 2 was ranked 12th, but when they faced real teams, it didn't work out. So guess what? Welcome to the SEC. It starts off pretty quick with a rivalry game, which really means nothing to these kids other than that it's going to be a packed stadium that the young Florida team has to deal with. And it's a Tennessee team that we're all waiting to see if they're real or not. So the reason this is my game of the week is not because of the rankings, but because of what a loss for each of these teams is going to mean for the narrative of their season moving forward. Florida loses, they're out of the top 25, and they're scratching to try to get back in, and they're going to have a tough time because they're going to be facing a lot of teams that are very capable of keeping them out of the top 25. You know, you even look at teams like Arkansas this year in the SEC are pretty good, and we already talked about Kentucky. But for Tennessee, they're in a very similar place that Florida was in. If they start reading their own press clippings and think that they earned a top 10 spot in a couple of weeks of college football that really don't mean anything, they have a couple of good wins, but this is going to be their toughest test. And if they take care of business at home, then we might start to take them seriously. Now, I think eventually they're going to lose to, a team like Georgia or Alabama. I haven't looked ahead of their schedule yet. I think they're going to lose to teams like that, but I could be wrong. There's always these teams that when they finally put it together with a decent recruiting base, they can regain that glory. Now, it would be a little bit of a downer if the white and orange team that starts to do really good is from Knoxville and not Austin. But maybe if you squint, if they win this game and they start to go on a tear, if you squint there in their games, maybe you'll get the same endorphins.
Now I want Florida to win because you put that. Now I'm just
look. I think this is for me. It's a toss-up because I really don't know how I feel in the game. It's going to be a close one, but what I think is really going to happen is one of these teams is going to show that they actually are for real. And Florida losing a game, it might not end up meaning that much later on if they can win the rest of them.
Yeah. So, be on the lookout for that. Let's jump to the game of the week. Corey Hammond's game of the week. Florida at Tennessee. Florida looking to keep some sort of playoff hopes alive, and Tennessee looking to prove that they are for real. Corey, now that we got the game out of the week, there's been the last few weeks. There's always been at least 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 to 5 upsets. Week 2 was one of those weeks. Week 3 same thing. Now coming this week, we were wondering if we had to pick any of the games on the list, what would be Corey's trap game that he would be wanting to look at more interestingly?
So it might be seeming like I'm going to beat up on Oregon, because when we first came on here, I was going to talk about how Georgia was going to beat up on Oregon and how, unfortunately, Bo Nix couldn't run away fast enough from the SEC. And he literally couldn't. He still had to play them. Oregon is still considered a very good team. Now, Washington State has an impressive win against Wisconsin this year, and I don't really know how good Wisconsin's going to end up being. I do know that to beat Wisconsin, you are going to have to play tough football. And for the Mike Leach days of Washington State, that wasn't what they were known for, let's just say. They were not known for playing tough football. So you look at Washington State this year and you look at the Pac-12, and I was looking at the schedule, and, really an upset has to be a team that, you expect some things from, you've heard about before, getting knocked off by a team that's not that great. Well, Washington State might be a team that ends up being ranked at the end of the year. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty looking at the schedule. I felt confident that if I had to pick one of these games, and the best part about college football, guys, is that the game that it might actually happen, A, will prove me wrong, which is always fun for everyone. But B, it's probably going to be more of a surprise. But I think that Washington State at home could take care of Oregon, especially when, you look at the line, it's -6. And when
I was looking
I'm
at it going -6.5. I'm like, they're looking this to be real close.
Well, especially when you look at a Vegas line and you look at a team like Oregon, who to the, just average guy who's just trying to just bet on whatever. Oh, Oregon's only -6. Oh, I'll take that. Oregon they run up the score. So, Oregon usually gets extra points because the bettors are used to them winning by a wider margin. Washington State getting 6 at home, that sounds like a line that seems a little bit off if Oregon was really actually the Oregon that we believe that they might be. An 8 or a 9 point spread for a team that's just the class of the Pac-12 seems right to me. But Washington State already took care of Wisconsin, a big name in college football. Oregon, Bo Nix, I'm sorry, man. I just don't think that this is that type of year for you. But hopefully for Bo Nix, I'm wrong. But for the rest of us, I think that Washington State has a chance to pull this one out.
I'm looking at it and just kind of looking at the numbers here. It's just they got the under/over at 56, and you make a good point. Like, man, this could be one of those games that Oregon is expecting to dominate, and just it doesn't end up going their way. Man, if that happens, everybody in Oregon might end up hating you for calling these things, right?
They're gonna stop eating apples.
Well, if Oregon can't be Washington State, then they didn't deserve a chance at a run at the national championship anyway. And then they just got to get their housekeeping in order, because they have a new coach. They have a new system. They have a quarterback that's a retread. They got recruits to get for next year. So if Oregon's worried about what Corey Hammond from the A7FL and the All-Pro JAFFO Army is saying, then I think we're doing our job right, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I'll take that any day.
So Oregon, after the loss, hit your boys up with some comments, some 5-star reviews, and maybe I'll turn the juju and pick you guys next week as the team upsetting the other team. Or when they play USC, if they even have them on the schedule. Or if they're dipping, because after that Georgia loss, they might just have rescheduled that.
It's just been done. I mean, again, Washington State, look on the lookout for that, people, because Corey, again, as much shit as he talks, the man knows what he's talking about. There's been a few things coming up that we're just like, all right, he only plays an idiot. He actually knows what it is that he's doing when he's talking about football. So hey, this might be another one of those situations. And again, I can't wait to talk about everything that goes on next week. Corey Hammond, A7FL quarterback for the Snow Tribe,
And you already
and
know.
uh, podcast co-host for the 3-on-1 podcast for the A7FL. Go check that out as well. Corey, once again, having you on here, my friend. We'll see you again next week, next Friday.
And
We're going out.
hopefully next week, guys, it's in the mail. But I will be sporting a Huss A7FL podcast shirt, which you can get, fans, at tinyurl.a7fl 3-on-1. You got to find it on Twitter. I probably said it wrong, but you can get a Huss shirt. And
You want him to get the
hashtag I'll try is coming.
The All Tried, what's it, the Matt's Thick Boy season up there? Yep.
That one's the top seller right now, so that's why I wasn't like promoting it. I right now mine's whack. It says Corey has kids, which is not my slogan. My wife's laughing next to me. That is not my slogan. The slogan is I'll try, because, like you guys know, I end my podcast after Matt says don't be an asshole, and the only thing that I can limp in with as a reply is that at best I will try, but you guys already know how that goes.
Yep, we already know that that's not anywhere near close to a guarantee. Corey, appreciate you again, my friend.
Hey guys, get your guys together, because if you listen to the Vegas podcast of the 3-on-1, the other side of the ball, you would already know that I was trying to get the Snow Tribe out here for a Corey Hammond World Tour to play the Vegas Force out there. So I want you guys to get a nice little all-pro JAFFO A7FL team in the California division. I could pull some strings. I know you guys were talking to David Isaacs, and I know you guys probably were talking after the call. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so get that team together. I want to see the all-pro JAFFos, and I want the logo to be Samuel L. Jackson staring motherfuckerly on the jersey. Just
gotcha.
That.
I knew you were coming. I knew it was coming.
Just imagine wearing that shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like cut out the arms and face, and it's just that looking across from you. And I don't think teams would be able to deal with that at times. Like, imagine 3rd and 8, just like the corners just staring at the wide receiver. Wide receiver's like, man, how am I going to run my post corner?
Holy shit.
But it's serious. Get it together. And for anybody looking to invest, if you go to a7fl.com, you could actually potentially be, because I know you guys know some big timers out there in the old Silicon Valley, and I don't mean the place where Jay finds some snot. You're married. I'm not going to make a stripper joke. At least my wife's laughing. That was good. The big timers out there in Silicon Valley, you can actually even potentially, if you pull the right strings, get your own division popping in the fastest growing professional sports league in the world. So, guys, thank you so much for having me, and I will see you
Corey. We'll see you Friday, my friend, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Hammond of the A7FL. Appreciate you, Corey.
Appreciate you guys.
See you, man.
Samuel, always a pleasure.
Oh shit! It's always good to have Corey on talking college football and everything else, because again, he's always good to have and just talk shit. Always has the jokes, comes with it, loves the stares the motherfuckerly. So that might be just a permanent wallpaper for him every time he comes in. But yes, we did mention that he would be Friday, so that is a mention that from here on out, starting next week, maybe even this Friday or so, we're going to be switching up the schedule a little bit. Instead of going Mondays and Thursdays, where we would be directly going live with Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football, most of you guys would rather be watching football than to be watching us talk about it, and it make it a lot easier for us to be able to actually analyze and see what's going on the field, instead of kind of trying to simultaneously look and talk at the same time. It just makes things easier for us, and it gives everyone else an opportunity to actually get a chance to hear us talk about what's going on as well. So from here on out, Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 o'clock normal time. Corey Hammond on Fridays at 7:30. I have spoken with Hans Themistode, the BoxingInsider.com head over there, and we've had him on the show before. I've talked to him, and we are trying to. It may not be weekly. It could turn into weekly, but as for right now, we're gonna have him on a couple of times, as many as we can, so that you guys can get more news and updates about the boxing and MMA world. This past weekend, Canelo and Triple G fought again in a pretty one-sided match. But again, we want to get more sports and more talk on here as possible. And boxing and MMA is really something, at least that I'm interested in. And having Hans on here a couple of times um, throughout the month or throughout the year would be good to be able to give people a lot of information on the fight game. So big changes are coming, big things are going to be happening, and you guys are along for the ride. So let's get back into NFL football. Um, let's see. We gotta go over the games because it was a lot of one-sided stuff. There were some games that were absolutely ridiculous. Um, there were three games where teams had come back from behind. Um, the Jets being one of them. The Jets came back in the last minute and 57 seconds.
Yeah, got them boys fucked up.
They were down, what, 31-15? 31-7, something like that?
It was ugly.
It was an ugly, and then literally in the last 2 minutes of the game, the Jets pulled it out and just, I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and they beat the Browns 31-30 in the dog pound. That or the brownie pound. You see the logo they put on it? They got Brownie the Elf on there as their 50-yard line marker for the rest of the season.
Well, that's
the
the
brownie
old school logo.
The brownie pound is alive and well. And they open up with a loss to the Jets. Woo!
Emotional, damn it.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny to give you some credit and the crack jokes that I know you will love. I think it's funny as fuck they put Brownie on the middle of the field after they got rid of Baker Mayfield.
Make you rest in shit.
You can have that one.
I gotta have that one because he fucking sucked too. He lost to the Giants. Fuck him.
That don't really
19-16. Baker Mayfield lost to Daniel Jones. Yes, Daniel Jones can now say that he beat Baker
Make you
Mayfield
rest in shit.
because Baker
Make you
Mayfield
rest in shit.
and the Panthers aren't going to do jack dick this year. As much as they said, oh, Baker Mayfield,
Make you rest in shit.
he may be the savior for the Panthers. No, he's not. And he is going to be proven exactly what I said he's been throughout this entire time. Baker
Make you
Mayfield.
rest in shit.
And that's the last thing we could talk about that. Now, the Thursday night game, we had already talked about it before, 27-24, the Chiefs over the Chargers. The Patriots went on and beat the Steelers. I believe, who picked, out of you and me, we both picked the Steelers, didn't we?
No, I picked mac and cheese.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you picked the Patriots. I picked the Steelers because, I mean, their defense did well the last week, but that did not happen. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick is he's been on fire, but that's been about it for the Steelers defense. Patriots, like I said, go on to win 17-14. So apparently the Colts.
They are who we thought they were.
It just
Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it.
and
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
no, the Colts are what the fuck? What, bro? Caleb Sunshine, he was so upset. He said, "This is probably why I stopped watching football for 2 years, because of this crap right here." He's like this. He's like, Matt Ryan, why? He's like, why do we have Matt Ryan on our team? Absolute dog shit. Jaguars went in there, handled that ass 24-0 in Jacksonville. I picked Jacksonville to win this game. I think you did too, where you picked the Colts to bounce back.
No, I picked the Colts. I was wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong as a motherfucker. I have no problem in that.
Say what?
Yeah, just the goose egg. My God.
Yeah, they whooped their ass.
Hey,
They whooped their ass. Yeah, they whooped their ass.
oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. The Colts might be.
They're
Can
going
the Colts be in the? Oh, that's what I'm saying. Can the Colts? They might be in a situation right now where they're doing the same thing that when Andrew Luck was getting ready to get drafted. They might shaft this entire year to get one of the top QBs coming out of the draft, so they don't have to stick with one of these shitty veterans anymore.
Well, I mean, unless they just trying to give Matt Ryan free money, I don't know, because they gave him a nice size contract, didn't they? And it sounded like 4-year deal.
No, not 4.
That shit had
No,
to be
I swear it might have been like a 1 to 2 year deal.
No, I don't
Had
think
to have
so.
been a 1 to 2 year deal.
Hold on, let's check the Carfax.
If it's a 4-year deal, let me find it.
Say what?
For what?
Matt Ryan contract.
Matt
You
Ryan,
lying.
it's got to be a. How much is it?
No, that's the old.
It's got to be a 1 to 2 year contract.
The Indy Star. So I'm going to their local fucking sports fucking shit. Jesus Christ.
What did they have?
Oh no, I had to do the whole don't sell my shit. 18 million. Let's say the length.
What,
Yeah, it just says the money. It says the money and the percentage of shit, but it doesn't say the year.
That's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the actual.
Let's see.
Said the final year of his deal in 2023. It said 37-year-old in the film since comes against 18 $35 million in 2023. The final year of his current deal. But that had to be like fucking. What the fuck? Yeah, bro. There's some bullshit. And I literally searched Matt Ryan contract. That's all I did. Let's do Colts.
Let me see. Contract details.
He got a 2-year deal.
See. He restructured.
Yeah. Restructured it. But what was the original deal?
Right now it's 2 years, 38.9 million.
Right. Well, do you know what it was originally?
Originally, he was going to be making 54.
Oh, so the length was the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2-year deal.
He's basically acting, because they traded for him. He's basically acting out the final 2 years of his contract.
with the Falcons.
You're right. So now instead of 54 million per year, oh no, he's 53. Oh, so he's getting 30 million, roughly 30 million per year.
Yeah, it's getting 35 next year.
Damn, they're still paying him a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, if you want to just pay Matt Ryan, all right, go draft him.
No,
I mean, really,
they might draft one of the top QBs and then have him sit behind Matt Ryan for a bit.
well, that's an expensive ass bridge quarterback, boy.
Well, what do you think we have? God damn it.
Who, the 49ers?
Yes, expensive
Trey
ass
Lance-
bridge quarterback.
Trey
Well,
Lance is
now
your future.
Emotional, damn it.
Oh, don't be like that. If I had a rock, I'll bust your head, bitch.
They are who we thought they were.
Exactly.
Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it.
Oh God.
look, we won 27-7. Okay,
Oh
cool.
God.
But
We played the Seahawks without Adams.
the universal, and so this is what I was looking at. This seems to be placed solely on your boy B-Rep.
B Rabbit, man.
So Trey Lance got hurt
Mhm.
in the first quarter. Fucked up his ankle. Bad. Like that motherfucker was facing where it shouldn't have been facing. It was a bad ankle injury. He had surgery on it, successful surgery. But it's season ending. He's done for the year. Now Jimmy's back in, and I can already see that this is going to turn into a frenzy. I bet you ESPN is foaming at the fucking mouth right now.
Oh yeah, they waiting on it.
Talking about all that. They're waiting for Jimmy G to just have one of those games where he just goes off. And literally, what Jimmy would be doing would be putting Kyle Shanahan's job in danger. Because Kyle Shanahan had gone on and on and on and on and on and on about how Trey Lance was this kid. He thought he fooled everybody with the third overall pick. This is the same guy that wouldn't even look at Patrick Mahomes. This is the same guy who literally built up Trey Lance to try and convince everybody that what he was doing by picking him at the number 3 overall pick was the right thing to fucking do. Now, Jimmy might just fuck around and take us to the NFC Championship game again. Now, will I be complaining when that happens? No, I won't be, because we're going to be there. And from what I'm reading and seeing around the NFL, more people, or more coaches, I should say, are now even more worried about the 49ers than they were when Trey Lance was in.
Yeah.
So that tells me nobody in the league, nobody
Nobody. Not even Keith
was
Sweat.
afraid of Trey Lance.
Right.
Nobody was afraid of the second-year quarterback from North Dakota State. Nobody was afraid of the quarterback who was going to be ran like a fucking fullback and get hurt early. Nobody was afraid of the quarterback who, like Corey Hammond likes to bring up on a daily fucking basis, he's on this show, wearing training bras to the training camp for no reason at all, really. Nobody's afraid of this kid. Why? Because everybody did their evaluations. Everybody saw the same thing. Everybody in their right mind saw the same thing. The kid is not Cam Newton. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. As much as you would probably love him to be, Kyle Shanahan, I'm now talking to you, as much as you would love him to be that guy, because, hey, you guys want the most elite running game in the game. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Those guys are few and far between. Trey Lance is not that. Yes, he's big. Yes, he can run. But that should all be secondary actions. He's got to be able to throw from the pocket. And you cannot be calling 9 designed quarterback runs in the first quarter and expect him to survive. It's not going to, you know how much these defenders salivate at the fucking mouth when quarterbacks decide to run.
Lord have mercy.
Because it's their chance to destroy the player that can hurt them the most. And that's the starting quarterback. That's why a lot of these guys, you really think some of these guys that it was a mistake that they didn't pull back when these quarterbacks are sliding?
Hey, I figured it out, bro. While you were talking this whole time, I figured it out. Kyle Shanahan is probably the best Madden player you've ever seen in your fucking life. And he needs to go into fucking e-game coaching. Because he's running y'all team like y'all got an abundance of fucking energy. Like if it's a right trigger or some shit.
Like the injury setting is turned off.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, in Madden, I feel like Deebo Samuel can survive running that shit, or a quarterback like RG3 could survive running.
Kyle Shanahan also ran RG3 into the ground when he was at Washington. Remember that?
Yeah, that was actually my point. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this man has proven and proven. Every time he get a pocket quarterback, he can't finish the game off. Every time he get a running quarterback or a good run game, he's going to hurt them motherfuckers. He's hurt y'all running backs every year he's been y'all coach. Like, people's really not understanding what's going on. My man is not managing injuries. My man is not managing shit the right way. I would call him Marcus Jordan, but Marcus Jordan did some legendary shit by fucking Scottie fucking Pippen's fucking ex-wife. So, I mean, I can't call him. So, that if he can't play basketball as good as his dad or even close to that, I can't say that. But he did some legendary shit when he got Scottie's wife. You know what I'm saying? And especially she knew him when he was in diapers. So, he pulled some motherfucking like, Zach Wilson shit.
Saying now we're back in the fucking Jimmy G era. And look, it's terrible what happened to Trey Lance. Nobody wishes injuries on anybody or anything else like that. I sure as hell didn't.
No.
Okay. But now
I knew that shit.
I mean, I hate to really say it because it kind of goes against everything that I have been saying from here on out. But I mean, it's kind of one of those, well, fuck, now really it is. Thank God we have Jimmy right now to back him up. Because he's the guy who knows the offense and everything else like that. The guys will play for him. It's obviously that he's still well liked on the team. But what I'm saying is now, if Jimmy G decides to be the Jimmy G that everyone had originally thought that he was, the one that I said who couldn't be clutch, the one who I said just he's riding the coattails of the run game and the defense, if he can actually be a step up higher than that, holy fuck. I don't think people understand the chaos that is going to cause inside the 49ers front office. Let's say this, okay? Let's say, now, again, suspend belief. Let's just say this happens, okay? Let's say the 49ers make it to the Super Bowl and they actually win it this time. Jimmy G makes the clutch passes. And, Kyle Shanahan doesn't fucking call B Rabbit. He finally upgrades to fucking Eminem, and roast Papa Doc and fucking hangs up with the fucking as the champion. or I shouldn't even say or. If that happens, right? What do they do with Trey Lance?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. This shit is so fictitious. I don't even know how to fucking follow this story.
I understand how fictitious it is and how it looks. I'm just telling you, okay, let's not even say Super Bowl. Let's just say the NFC Championship game. Let's just say NFC Championship game. Okay?
That's y'all ceiling. There you go.
Now, let's say they make it to the NFC Championship game because of Jimmy. Now, not with him, but because of him. What do they do with Trey Lance?
They gonna keep him because Jimmy not gonna stay.
So they're still gonna hand the keys over to an unproven quarterback who is once again.
You keep making it seem like it's an organization decision at that point, because you got to remember. No, it's not, because you got to remember how they re-signed Jimmy. The deal they re-signed Jimmy on, he up out of there after this year. So Jimmy not gonna be there. So that's pretty much what it is. It ain't no hand the keys over. Jimmy gone. He just finishing the year, and right now he just really kind of helping y'all out, because to be all the way bottom level, honest, and to look up to the fucking sky and see everything. Jimmy G and Baker Mayfield had the exact same situation, but the thing was Jimmy G handled it how the team wanted him to, and Baker handled it for himself. Because those are two situations. Those are two situations where both players like had a decision to make, and they could have done for themselves or they could have done for the team. Jimmy went for the team, so he didn't have a contract for like a couple of days, and then Baker fucking basically was like, shit, I want my own shit, because motherfuckers got me fucked up. I want my own shit. But I knew Masters was coming because he won every goddamn thing. I knew he was coming.
I had to cut y'all off. Like, let me see if they're still in there real quick. I like that. Y'all like that comeback this week? Fucking. It was just a weekend of comebacks for me. Fantasy, I was getting my ass whooped at first, and then fucking Allen and Diggs gave me 47, and Allen gave me like 40 something.
Yeah, that motherfucker knocked me out the game this week. I was winning, and then he went crazy. So I'm kind of like, fuck Stephon Diggs right now, but I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, though.
DJ Matchsticks is in the building. Oh, man. We haven't even gotten to your team yet, but we're now on the Dolphins and the Ravens. That was a comeback game. The Dolphins were behind and ended up beating the Ravens. Would you say, Kay, that both Waddle and Tyreek Hill had like 50 points?
Yeah,
in another league or something
in one of my leagues, they almost had 50 points. But to be honest, I'm really not surprised. This is not surprising to me against the team that has no DBs, and that. So think about it. I was talking to one of my friends, and it was like a year ago, the Ravens, they lost like 7, 8 players on fucking goddamn defense to injury. I'm like, well, the motherfucking starters suck. And he was like, well, they gone, and this is who you got right now. So if they suck, what you think? And I'm like, yeah, you got a damn good point right there. I'm like, what you expect? So there it is.
The Dolphins came back. It's won it 42-38. I mean, even for the Ravens, I was thinking like, there's no way the Ravens win or lose this game. Duvernay takes the kick back. Fucking Bateman has a 75-yard touchdown reception, and just Dolphins stuck in there and just proving that they might be a team to be reckoned with out there in the AFC East. And now we get to, I wanted to ask you a few questions, Kevin. Buccaneers Saints.
Oh no, let's not do me first. Let's do Matchsticks.
No, we have to. It's on the list. So wherever it shows up first, that's what I'm picking.
They gonna go
I'm
to
looking on that. I'm looking. Yep. No.
Bullshit. Bengals,
Yep.
Cowboys, bullshit. Go.
No. We'll go after. But on the list right here, this is where it shows up. Bucks and Saints. Bucks win 20-10.
Fuck it.
But uh, uh, what the fuck happened?
I mean, what do you mean? What happened?
What was going on there? What was
do you
going on?
mean?
What I think Tom Brady had 10 points total in
Bro.
fantasy football. Like what was going on in this game?
First off, I got one question for you. What in the fuck do you expect when he has none of his number one? Like he has literally none of his. Like all of our guys is like, oh, we got these guys. None of them finished the fucking game. Mike started the game, got kicked out, but he had none of his guys.
Hold on.
What did you?
Can we, ladies and gentlemen, you got to see this.
Yo.
One more time. One more time.
I fucking love it, man.
That was
So it is-
dragging people.
It is very obvious. It is very obvious that Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore do not like each other. But every single time, it ends up with Mike Evans just fucking blowing up Lattimore every time.
Bro, I cannot stand motherfuckers that be like, oh, Mike Evans is so much bigger than him. Bro, Lattimore does not realize how small he is when he's talking like he's 6'6". That's on him. He's talking like he's 6'6".
And Mike Evans told the referee, that's Tom Brady. What the fuck am I supposed to do? You literally said, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Not protect Tom Brady? Come on now.
Yeah.
They ended up ejecting both Lattimore and Evans. Both of them are suspended for one game, so Mike Evans will not be playing next week.
And then I was reading today that Bruce Arians might be in trouble. They thinking he told. I was reading today. They thinking he told Mike Evans to fight in the fight in Lattimore.
No.
So there was a story I was reading today. I meant to post it in the chat.
I had saw that Lattimore and Arians were jawing at each other. I saw that they were talking shit to each other, and then the next thing you know, Tom Brady walks by Lattimore, essentially tells, hey, shut the fuck up, go to your side, or whatever. Like, shut the hell up and go to your sideline or go to your huddle. Lattimore stepped up to Brady, and when Fournette pushed Lattimore,
he pushed him
Lattimore then pushed Fournette back, and then Mike Evans, like a bat out of hell, like a bat out of hell, full speed around Tom Brady's right. He said, on your right. Bang!
Bro. Bro, as a Bucks fan, so here's my thing. All right. Put yourself in my shoes, right? Say y'all playing y'all most heated rival, and you got one player that's always trying to fight y'all players every time y'all play them. For like the last 4 or 5 years, this man been trying to fight your players every time y'all play them. Like, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Mike Evans been in the league, what, 8 years now?
9 years.
9 years, half of his career, he been dealing with this little sack of shit. And this motherfucker keep goddamn doing all this extra bullshit trying to fight motherfuckers. Last time they got in a big brawl like that, this motherfucker tried to fight Jameis, and Jameis wasn't even doing that shit to him. And then when he did that extra shit, then he did it again. He did it again just to fuck with him.
I think Jameis Winston instigated that shit.
Bro, I think
with
Jameis
the whole
he was pointing, talking shit, and then when Buddy walked by and he hit his hand and shit like that, and then Jameis did it on purpose.
Well,
I think the
Jameis
second time it was
had
okay.
put his finger and like shoved it in the back of Lattimore's face. That's when or in the back of his neck. That's when Lattimore turned around
I understood on that.
and whoa.
That's all you, Bucko.
Oh, that's Mr. Madsticks.
Oh, he muted himself. He muted himself.
All right. Shit. What was I saying? But yeah, he put it in the back of his neck. That's when Lattimore turned around, and when he knocked Winston's hand, that's when fucking Evans came in and just from the back blindsided his ass and put him into the second row.
Yeah,
It just
honestly, I like Mike Evans protecting his players, but that was one time I feel like Lattimore should have took somebody to the 12th floor. He should have boomed Jameis' ass. Fuck that shit. Boom his ass. Go to baseball. Fucking stop going over here. Stop playing over here with a fucking baseball. Stop fucking wasting your years over here.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
knock him straight the fuck over. But no, I do like Mike Evans being essentially the teammate who's the enforcer. Like if you fuck with the quarterback or if you fuck with really anybody on the team, you know Mike Evans is gonna have your back in the best way possible. Because again, he just came in, hey, Lattimore's talking shit. You don't talk shit to my quarterback. Bang. Mike Evans just went and laid Lattimore the fuck out. And that's just Mike Evans chalks up another one. I think that's another win for Mike Evans.
He always starting shit, bro. And he really should understand if you're not talking to Mike Evans, you better look out for Mike Evans, fam. Like that's kind of what unless you know on the injury report Mike Evans hurt. If you ain't talking to Mike Evans, you better watch the fuck out and keep your head on thine swivel, my boy, because he's gonna knock your head off. He don't give a fuck about a game suspension, bro. He would knock your head off.
No,
and on top of that, did you hold on? Whoa, I forgot to put up the most legendary picture of all. Where the fuck is my phone? Where's my phone? What am I doing? I did a disservice to myself and at the Bucks because I'm supposed to be a fan, but I act like I'm not a fan. Especially at this moment. At this moment and this moment alone. I'm talking time to air out this picture to my goddamn computer. You know what I'm saying? So that's really all I was doing. Oh, I'm gonna show you right now. Here it comes. It's coming in a very brief second. So while I'm filling in the time, I just want to let y'all know this game had me so pleased that we beat Jameis' ass. I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand the joy that shit gave me.
At first, I thought he wasn't going to play. At first, they were saying like he had a back injury or whatever the hell.
He broke his ribs. He had 4 broken ribs. I don't give a fuck about none of that. And I'm talking about this picture right here. This shit was glorious. My favorite fucking picture right there. That is my favorite fucking picture right there.
Who is that he's hugging?
He's hugging Mike Evans. That's after the game. That's Brady and Evans.
Oh, that's Mike Evans?
Yes, in the tunnel. Mike is already dressed.
Oh.
I love that fucking picture. Hey, that's all I'm saying. It's like we a fucking team. Regardless, he getting kicked out that one game. It's like Julio gonna be back. We gonna fucking possibly have Russell Gage back. Oh no, Russell was in that fight too. So never mind. Fucking I don't know, bro.
I thought only Evans and Lattimore were the only ones who were suspended.
Oh, Gage for sure was in that fight. I don't think if they didn't give him suspension, then we got Gage. You know what I'm saying? Killer Cam. We got enough team to beat Aaron Rodgers with no receivers, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure our defense is for sure gonna shut them down. All we really gotta do is let Lenny run. You know what I'm saying? Lenny run and Tom throw it to the tight ends and Prashawn Perriman and Scotty and Darden and shit.
Yep. Next one on the list. The Lions and the Commanders. I'm pretty sure I picked the Lions as well.
You definitely didn't.
I didn't? Did I pick the Commanders? No.
You was on some opposite day shit, and I kept trying to tell you, and you was like, "Nah, I'm gonna pick the Commanders." I was like,
No.
"Fuck no."
No, I picked the Lions. I swear I picked the Lions.
I'm telling you, this was the one pick I was like, "You got to be on some opposite day shit." Nah, you picked the Lions. I'm bullshitting.
I was gonna say I had to pick the opposite day shit. Where was that came from? That probably came from.
It was one. It was like blatant. Like,
Oh, that was the Vikings Eagles one. I think it was. No, what other one? What was it?
Nah, that was the one you was apologizing to your wife.
Yeah. So then, which one was I saying?
Oh no, but it was one. It was blatant.
Was it Texans Broncos? Did I pick the Texans?
I think so. I think that is it. That was it. That was the game. That sounds about right. And I'm like, ain't no fucking way.
Did I pick the Texans over the Broncos?
I said, ain't
I'll
no
have to go back and
way.
look. For those of you who don't know, that was our unscheduled episode that we had this Friday. We went and picked the teams. Yeah, no, I remember you saying like you're on some opposite day shit, and I'm looking at all the matchups going like, that's got to be the only one where I thought that I was like, okay, maybe the Broncos are actually ass, and Texans are going to surprise them. Okay, so that had to have been it right there.
Yeah.
But I was about to say, I know I picked the Lions. I had to have picked the Lions over the Commanders. But yeah, 36-27. Hey, can I make a bold statement?
I mean, you're a 49ers fan. You make a bold statement every day, especially on Sundays.
At least it's out there and bold. I think the Lions, at minimum, make wild card, and not as like the number 3 or 4, like the whole division. I mean, I don't know if they're going to win the division. I wouldn't go as that far, but I would say they would be the number 2 team in the division to make wild card. I think the Lions are going to do that this year.
I'm gonna piggyback off your bold statement, and I'm gonna one up you. I do feel like the Lions are gonna win the division just simply because the Packers don't have any receivers. Aaron Rodgers struggled like a sumbitch before they kind of like pulled away on the Bears, and the Vikings got completely exposed tonight.
Oh, they got throttled.
Like
tonight.
it was so fucking bad, bro. So bad. They got exposed so badly. Like, the Lions are for sure winning that division. Like, unless Aaron Rodgers really just like do some shit, or let's say this, or those 2 running backs they got really kind of like take off.
Mm-hmm.
Or everybody just shit the bed who they play. Like, they probably just got like an easy ass schedule like they normally have. They have a bunch of fucking sorry ass motherfuckers they play like in the middle pack of their season, and they just gather wins. So we'll see.
We will see. Let's see. What else is here? We have Rams and Falcons. The Rams won 31-27. Hey, the Falcons are low key.
No. Don't you say it. Do not fucking say that shit. This is the second week.
They were.
This is the second week of the NFL season. First off, let's say that. And the 2 teams they played 2 turnover-prone quarterbacks. I don't think you fully realize how many picks Jameis Winston is liable to throw. We seen this man really pull a 30 for 30, bro.
I think Marcus Mariota might have found his home.
Oh my fucking God.
Did you see that play where he fell down, got back up, and then completed the pass?
They're running a veer offense, fam.
I get that. I'm just saying the Falcons might be low key good.
Bro, the Rams aren't that good. Like, that's some people fucking. Oh my God, Matthew Stafford sucks so goddamn bad. This motherfucker threw 2 picks.
Right now, this
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Oh my God, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. This bullshit ass flash in the pan bullshit. It's like this that bullshit I'm talking about right here. He get on the fucking team that was already fucking good. This motherfucker pulls a John Gruden, and they gonna go sit here and talk about this motherfucker found he was Detroit dragging him down. You see fucking Detroit. Detroit good right now. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. It didn't take long to recoup to get the fuck out of with from that motherfucker. Took them a couple years and they good now. Got Dan Campbell and a slew of fucking goddamn mid-tier receiver players, and they doing well. So I don't know what the fuck they talking about. And this motherfucker out here goddamn barely winning over the Atlanta Falcons. Nigga with Marcus Mariota running the goddamn veer offense. And Jalen Ramsey gonna sit here and try to act like that bullshit ass fuck ass motherfucking puss ass motherfucking pick is gonna make me believe you somebody, nigga. Who's their number one receiver? Name it right now. Cordero Patterson. You got to be motherfucking kidding me. A goddamn utility player is their number one receiver. You want me to understand that your team is something to fucking fear, and you got a utility guy as your number one? Not a guy that fucking goddamn go 8 years with 1,000 fucking yards. Not that. You got a motherfucking goddamn utility guy. This motherfucker is a utility. That's why I don't be respecting the 49ers, because y'all motherfuckers ain't helping Debo out none. You got a utility guy as your number one. Like, how far are you going to think you're going to go burning this motherfucker out? What else you got after this?
Not very far.
That's what get on your Niners, but that's embarrassing.
Damn, me saying the Falcons were somewhat good really struck a nerve. You really got a little bit of that
emotional, damn it.
This shit is annoying because it's like, dog, it's 2 weeks. Don't sit here and try to make it seem like the Falcons getting a fighting chance by playing Jameis Winston and Matthew Stafford. Getting the entire fuck out of here. Get the entire fuck out of here. Man, let's say it like this. If the Cowboys, because the Cowboys just beat Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow had an offensive line and they beat them the way they beat them, that win is respectable. And I'd be like, all right, the Cowboys own something with Cooper Rush. But the fact that our offensive line is so fucking terrible and they got one of the best pass rushers in the goddamn game, this shit is like, come on. Like, all right, we knew you was going to kind of fucking blow their ass out, bro. Like,
Well, let's get to the next one on the list. Cowboys 20, Bengals 17, Mad 6. At this point, would you prefer Cooper Rush over Dak Prescott?
And the Jets won yesterday.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. He said the Jets won. That's all I give a shit about. He said when he said he denounced the Cowboys, he said, not only did I denounce them, I denounced all talking about this bum ass team. I'm just done with it. Hey, my Jets won. I know we already talked about it, but the Jets won.
My chest hurt so fucking much right now.
You know, the Cowboys won. That's good for them. That's one win. Let's see what he do next week. Let's see if it's just a fluke. Now, if you can put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins together in a row with Cooper Rush, then we know where the problem lies.
Little bachata.
Little Dakota.
Little bachata. The fucking twirling his hips.
Goddamn salsa dancing and stepping on the field. And
I'll tell you, he out there dancing.
I knew when they put that commercial out of him getting his ass beat on the field by the Desperate Housewives, I knew it was over.
Right. This man is real life and to be on Dancing with the Stars next season. Guaranteed. Goddamn T. Zeke gonna be on The Masked Singer. He gonna be on Dancing with the Stars. They gonna have CeeDee Lamb on Chopped.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him.
Cannot coach with him. What about the Cowboys? Like Noah Brown came through, so you know he about the only one. Brown for the Cowboys. Was it
Nah,
Nigel
that ain't help us out.
Brown? I think it's like Noah. I think it's Noah Brown.
Nah, still drawing a blank. What'd he play?
Yeah, I think he might be. I think he might be a rookie. I never heard of him.
What'd he play?
Receiver.
Okay, you got a receiver.
Yeah. I mean, shit, because he gave me. I didn't start him. Yeah. See, this StreamYard be tripping on my phone. It's like lost. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, like lost the camera for some reason, but yeah, like fantasy wise, I mean, he gave me like, well, I didn't play him because like week 1 he didn't do nothing, and then yesterday, he gave me like 15, but I didn't play him, and I didn't play Pollard yesterday, and he had,
went
15,
crazy.
But even after that, even still with benching those two people, I still pulled out the win just with.
That shit broke my heart not playing Tony Pollard in one of my other leagues. This man had 21 points in my other league.
Fuck. Hey, how did it?
Bro, I had so many points on the bench in so many leagues.
Bro, I can't even tell you how much. I think I won. I won in the Jaffa League. I lost in my in-laws league. So I know that happened.
Let me tell you how bad it was for one of my leagues. I had 40 points on the bench, and I lost by 39.
Yeah, but what I was saying, I had Pollard and that dude Brown on the bench, and still pulled out the win just with a quarterback, and one with the quarterback in one league, and then the quarterback and receiver in the other league.
Yep, Mad Six went into it and said,
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Talking about some milk and some cookies.
I mean, hey, after my comeback win against you last week, if you were already talking shit after Thursday, I guess you were due for one.
That's all right. Oh yeah, I'm about to pile them up. That ain't the first.
Let's hope so.
That ain't
Are
the
you gonna
first
change
win.
your team name?
I don't know what do I got. I don't even know what it is.
The Headbangers.
We still the Headbangers.
Ooh. Rock, my brother-in-law, he changed his name from "You Gotta Be Shitting Me" to "We Are Trash" with the trash emoji. He said his team is absolute dog shit. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm not the one who drafted. I'm not the one who drafted your team. Hey, look. So when we were drafting, me and Sunshine were on the phone with each other. When Rock made his picks, my brother was like, "Who is he picking?" I was like, "I don't know. That's not somebody I would pick this early." And he's like, "Oh, is he out here picking friends? Is he out here? Is that what he's doing? He's picking based off his friendships." Rock knows a lot of people, so I was like, "Oh shit! I hope that's not the reason." Hey, if it is, hey, you trust in your boys to have your back in fantasy. I get that. Yeah. But he figured out real quickly it's not the best strategy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Cowboys, they got the Monday night game coming up. Them and the Giants Monday night.
They just love putting you guys on prime time.
That's right. We need to go in there and beat the Giants, but the Eagles defense looked good tonight. They was beating the shit out of Minnesota.
That they did.
Fucking, I seen like 4 picks. What's the name should have had? Like he missed 2 of them.
Who, on the Cowboys or on the Eagles?
Nah, for the Eagles.
Oh. I mean, they still walked away with like 3-4 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Cousins, the way he was playing, yeah, they probably should have had 7 or 8.
Yeah, his ass should have got benched. He would have been sitting on the bench.
That was all bad.
Like he just kept throwing us to Jefferson. It's like, you think they ain't gonna just learn who the fuck you just throwing to the whole game? He did that last game too. Just kept throwing to Jefferson. It's like Jefferson, he ain't gonna always be open.
Yep. You got to get Thielen involved. You got to get Cook involved. You got to get Irv Smith. You got to get everybody else involved. It can't just be Jefferson. That happened to the Rams last week. They only threw to Cooper Kupp. Yeah, he put up numbers, but they didn't win the game. That's exactly what happened to the Vikings this week. So yeah, Packers Bears 27-10. Packers win in Green Bay. I mean, Aaron Rodgers doing what he does after week one. They always suck in week one and then week two. And plus, he's always beating the shit out of the Bears anyway, so that was kind of a given that was going to happen. We went over the Cardinals and Raiders, right? 29-23 in OT. We went over that a little bit. Kyler Murray getting slapped on accident.
Raiders fucking suck too.
I'm muted. I thought I was unmuted. Yes, we did.
The Raiders.
They are who we thought they were.
And that is never going to change. The Bills beat the tar out of the fucking bro. Honestly, I honestly think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl, bro.
Shit, the rate they playing.
Are you good? Y'all high?
I am, but still,
like
this team is playing to. They're straight up, run it up, Herman. Like it's like, leave no doubt. We're gonna beat the living shit out of every single team, and we are not gonna let off the fucking gas pedal.
It's been 2 games, and they had 2 easy-ass wins, bro.
I'm just saying, if they can keep this up, if they can keep this pace.
All I'm saying is they had 2 easy-ass wins, and I watched some of this game, and Josh Allen literally, he had nobody to throw it to, and he just knew what Stephon Diggs was in the route, in the fucking play, and he just threw it in his direction. This motherfucker wasn't even open. He just pushed the motherfucking defender off and just, bro, I watched the fucking play, bro. I watched it when they went up 17, when they went up and they got 17, when they were at 10, that 17 point, Stephon Diggs was not open, bro. At all. He was low-key double covered. They had him in a cloud. And then this motherfucker threw the ball. The safety was shifting over. He pushed off the corner and just fucking turned and grabbed that touchdown.
Did they call
it's
flag?
Fine. It's fine because it was, nigga, the ref didn't call it. But at the same time, it's like, that shit not gonna work with teams with actual defenses, bro. That's my point. Like, teams with actual defenses and people that can get after your quarterback, that shit ain't gonna work. Him just throwing that shit to Stephon like that.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis was hurt, and look, Dawson Knox, he was throwing that bitch too, and I didn't watch the rest of the game, so he probably was like picking them apart after they fucking broke their soul. You know what I'm saying?
They get the Dolphins this next week.
We'll see how that goes.
That might actually be a test when they're in Miami, so that might actually be a test for them.
It'll be an offensive shootout, but as far as defense, I don't know. I don't know if the Dolphins' defense is equivalent to the Bills.
Nah, the Bills gonna beat the shit out the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know if they run that cover 2 and try to keep Tyreek in front of them, then yeah, they might. We'll see what happens, but. If the Bills try to go out there and be like, oh, yeah, we can match with y'all, fuck that. We're going to go out there with that prideful defense. They're going to get maxed out. The boys going to run right past it. Go Jalen Waddle fast as fuck, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. It just all depends on, because the Bills got a way better defense than the.
But he got to have time to throw it to Waddle and Hill, too.
That's a fact. That's definitely a fact.
Bills' defensive line is no joke.
Yeah. Von Miller finna have a field day. I think Tua finna get Carter off the field this weekend. No, I'm not trying to wish that on nobody, but
he's got my boy going out so sad.
He
got my boy going out so sad.
Like, there's a chance of it. He might be getting his ass kicked. Like, again, that Bills defensive line is ridiculous. Von Miller and Ed Oliver really fucking boosted that line. They are really fucking good, man. They're pretty scary too. I'm just saying, like, any team going against the Bills is worried right now.
Oh, I'm worried. I really hope our offensive line get back together by week 13 because I'm worried.
Yeah, they finna he finna end Brady's career too.
Hey, they go. I'm not gonna lie. We only gonna be able to block one of them motherfuckers. They gonna max our ass out.
Oh yeah, they finna try to smack Brady. Everybody tired of seeing Brady in the league. They finna
we got is Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs is the only Pro Bowl offensive lineman we got right now. Oh, Shaq Mason, and he's right beside him. So we got the right side of the line is okay. The whole from the center to the left tackle is bad business. Backups. All of them backups. So shit.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, bro.
No problem, man. The Bills are fucking scary ass team. We'll see what they end up doing. But let's see. Since we got a Thursday night game, we got to pick them. The Steelers versus the Browns in the Brownie Pound. Uh, the Browns just gave up that come from behind victory by the Jets, and the Steelers just lost to the Patriots. Kay, who are you going with here?
First, I think you're underestimating the Jets. I seriously do. I seriously feel like you're underestimating the Jets because look how good they played Sunday with Flacco sorry ass.
The Browns will be the Browns.
When they get motherfucking Zach Morrison back.
Zach Morrison?
Yeah.
God damn, they get Zach Morrison.
Hey, bro. They get him back. Hey, it's gonna be a different story, dog. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a different story. But I feel like they're gonna play better because they probably all got a better rapport because he's younger, and versus Matt Ryan is like the father figure around that bitch. But all of them know that they better than him, so it's like it's different. Versus like Tampa, Tom Brady walk around there, the father figure, and all them like, well, we know we ain't better than you, so.
So then who do you give it to? You give it to the Steelers here, or you give it to the Browns?
I'm giving it to the Browns because the Steelers is fucking broke up and hurt. They all beat up. You know what I'm saying? They all beat up. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Like Tomlin, a good coach, but you can't fucking goddamn. You can't fight injuries, bro. You're gonna lose that battle. When your players get injured, there's nothing you could do. You know what I'm saying? Like injuries gonna come with the game, so you can't fight that.
Mad Sticks, who you got, Browns or the Steelers?
I'm gonna go with the Steelers by 3. By a field goal. It's gonna come down to a fourth quarter field goal. End of the game. A walk off.
Okay.
All the Browns fans are gonna go home crying like they usually are against the Steelers. I kind of see the same thing. Maybe not by 3, but like at least by 6, maybe. Yeah, I think I got the Steelers over the Browns.
So y'all saying Matt Trubisky go get the job done?
Yep.
All right.
No, I'm saying Najee Harris is going to get the job done. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying the field goal kicker going to get the job done.
I say the offensive line ass. That offensive line is
for both teams. For both teams, the offensive line is ass. So
granted, but at the same time, the Browns is expected to have a bad offensive line. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean,
Steelers are expected to at least have something.
I feel like the Browns defense is less hurt than the Steelers. That's the reason why I picked that team. Because TJ Watt is gone, Minka there, but he really all that they got.
Yeah, Watt's hurt for
you might well call it
a year.
Yeah, call it. Yeah. He's a call it.
Pretty much done there. But that was this week's games. That was this week's highlights and predictions for Thursday night. As you guys already know, we will be back on Friday after Thursday Night Football. We'll be talking same time, same bad channel on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all 4 of those that we go live on for YouTube and Facebook. Both of those pertain to Bros Productions. On Twitter, the JAFFOs AP, and Twitch, PvP_studios. Be sure to catch us there. Now from here on out, so again, we're not competing with you guys watching football and us being able to talk about it. This way we can further analyze it, be able to actually see what's going on instead of trying to fight back and forth between talking and watching at the same time. So Tuesdays and Fridays, same time at 7 o'clock. And then Corey Hammond, instead of being on Tuesdays. He's got the Tuesdays with the podcast for the 3-on-1 podcast for the H7 FL. So he will be joining us on Fridays, which will actually make it a little bit better because it's the day before college football happens. So we'll have Corey Hammond on Fridays at 7:30. And once again, Tuesdays through Fridays. Be sure to follow us, like, subscribe, rate, leave a comment on YouTube and Twitch. Hit the bell as a reminder. Rate it when you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you get your podcast. Be sure to rate and leave a comment, give that 5-star rating so everything can get sent into the algorithm and we can continue to build the Jaffa army to what we know and we can see it's going to be. Once again, we'll see you guys on Friday. Mad Six, you going to be with us on Friday?
Possibly. I think I'm off Friday. Yeah, I'm off.
On the lookout for a Mad Six sighting.
I'm off Fridays and what am I off? Shit, Thursdays and Fridays now.
Okay.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday.
There we go.
Hey, check this form. Check this form. Mike Evans' form was perfect. I'm just saying. Shoulder pads. He shoulder width apart. He inside of him low key. Right underneath. He got his shoulder. He gone. There wasn't nothing he could do. He was gonna fly. He had perfect. That was a perfect block. If you didn't know it was a fight, you thought that was a block. It was a run play for Lenny.
Put him on his ass after he sent it flying 5-10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect hit by Mike Evans. Well deserved. Lattimore, stop talking shit. You keep getting your ass whooped by Mike Evans every single time you open your fucking mouth. Now's about the time to stop.
No,
right.
I was suspended and I got him on my damn fantasy team.
Damn, that sucks. Hey, you know what sucks even worse though? Not worse, but just as equally bad. I had Jamel Dean on my team for the fucking Jaffo League, and he's on the bench because I picked up Tyrone Matthew, and the guy I had in for when I switched out for Tyrone Matthew made him automatically start.
You're the one who beat me in the waiver wire for him. Fuck.
Oh yeah, I need that.
I needed that. I was like, fuck. I was like, the guy that I got in here.
I needed Jamel Dean to start. I mean, I could trade you for him.
We're not trading defensive players. I'm not going that long.
I got a quarterback too and a defensive player. I can combo package for you. More intriguing, huh?
We'll talk off there.
I got a quarterback for you, Josh. You want Ryan Tannehill?
Hey,
no.
Look, bro, I had something more intriguing. I got Aaron Rodgers or Trevor Lawrence. You can have either one. Trevor just went crazy this last weekend. You think they ain't gonna click on fire? Him and Christian Kirk just got a fucking rapport now, and they was going off. See what I'm saying? You got two options, and both top tier quarterbacks. See what I'm saying? Mad Six just tried you, low key.
We'll talk about it again. I'm kind of desperate for a quarterback right now.
I'm already knowing. I'm trying to see how desperate you get.
I don't think I'm that desperate, but desperate enough to where I might try a little something.
Just wait another week.
Might have to. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us on this lovely Monday. We'll see you guys on Friday at 7 o'clock. For myself, JP, for the 610 Beast from Southeast Country K, and the best DJ on the entire fucking planet, DJ Mad Six. We'll see you guys on Friday. Deuces.
Aloha.